Hi, I'm Emma, a Food and Health Development Officer with Edinburgh Community Food, and today we're going to be looking at healthy lunches during the school holidays. So during the holidays we have more meals to provide for our children, and it can be difficult to consistently provide healthy, varied lunches that are cheap and quick to prepare. There's also the additional worries that when taking your child out for the day, you might have to spend a fortune buying snacks and lunch while you're out. So we hope that this talk will give you some inspiration and a few tips on how to throw together a quick lunch that's nutritious and delicious. So this is the Eat Well guide, which helps us to show how much we should be consuming from each food group in our overall diet. The guide shows us that 1/3 of our diet should come from fruits and vegetables, and another third from carbohydrates, and then the rest is from proteins and dairies and a little bit of fat. You can see that the foods high in fat, salt and sugar are outside the circle as they're not necessary for a balanced diet, and we should be aiming to reduce these. There are a few differences in the guide for younger children. So the carbohydrate section does highlight how we should be eating whole grains. However, younger children need more energy dense foods compared to adults. So consuming refined grains to begin with, and then gradually increasing their whole grain intake as they get older. Younger children should also be consuming full-fat dairy products compared to semi-skimmed and low-fat products for adults, as they need the extra calories for their growth. The Eat Well guide also includes dairy alternatives such as soy milk. However, if you are opting for these, we need to ensure that they're unsweetened and fortified with calcium. So carbohydrates should make up 1/3 of our daily diet and can be used to create the base of our meals, as our body uses them as its main source of energy. So when creating the base of your lunch, try and choose whole grains like brown bread and rice, as they have more nutrients and a high fibre content. Fibre is beneficial in keeping our gut healthy and keeps us fuller for longer compared to refined white grains. Most carbohydrates can also be eaten cold, making them handy to prepare for lunch in advance. So some ideas we have are pastas and rice, or couscous, which is easier and quicker to make. And these foods can be eaten in curries, stews, and you can mix them with some vegetables and a wee sauce or dip and create a colourful salad. Potatoes are another option, and they can be cooked in several ways. So for example, baked potatoes, they're quick to cook in the microwave. And when you can, try and leave the skin on, as that's a good source of fibre as well. And then any leftover mashed potatoes could also be mixed in with some tinned fish, and that can make fish cakes. If a sandwich is your usual go-to at lunchtime, you could try adding fillings to different breads such as pittas, wraps, or even oatcakes and breadsticks. And because there's such a wide range of carbohydrates, this will allow you to create some variety in the diet and ensure your child isn't getting too bored of what they're eating over the holidays. So after choosing the carbohydrate for the base of your meal, proteins can then be used for the fillings and toppings for some flavour and texture, and also some additional nutrients. Our body needs proteins for growth and repair of our muscles, skin, nails, bones, and is especially important in childhood and adolescence, where the body is growing rapidly. So proteins can be found in a variety of foods. So when choosing meats, the healthiest option would be chicken or turkey rather than processed meats such as sausages and ham, or red meats, as they're higher in fat and salt. Fish is another protein source, and we should be aiming for 2 portions a week. So tinned fish such as tuna is an easy way to include protein, and that could be added to pastas and sandwiches, and it requires minimal preparation. Then any leftovers you have from the previous evening could be used, and allows you to make a quick lunch and prevent food waste as well. Eggs are another source of protein, which are cheap and can be cooked quickly. They can also be cooked in many different ways, so varying the way you serve them, or maybe make an omelette or a frittata and serve them along with some veg, cheese, potatoes, and that just helps to make the meal more balanced. Protein can also come from plant-based foods, which are typically lower in cost and higher in fibre compared to meats. So these foods will include things like beans, peas, lentils and pulses, and 80 grams of beans and pulses also count towards one of your 5 a day. So another common and easy protein source is dairy, so that's things such as milk, cheese and plain yogurt, so include them in your lunch too. So fruits and vegetables provide the body with important vitamins and minerals, and we need to consume a wide variety of colours to increase our nutrition intake. Increasing fruit and veg in our children's lunches can be done in a number of ways. So easy no-cook vegetables such as cucumber, carrots, pepper and salad veg could be added to sandwiches and wraps, or they can be cut into sticks. And frozen or tin veg could be added to pastas, couscous, omelettes, or even just on the side of a dish to make it look nice and bright and colourful. You can also prepare some roasted veg in advance, so maybe that would be when you're making dinner the evening before. So just by chopping things like sweet potato, squash, courgettes, just toss them in a little oil and roast them in the oven, and then they can be stored in the fridge and added to meals whenever. Another way to increase fruit intake is by preparing in advance, which can save time, and your child's more likely to opt for it if it's ready to go, especially if it's larger fruits like melons or fruits with stones like mangoes and peaches. Making a fruit salad can be a fun idea, and you can keep it fresher for longer by drizzling some lemon or lime juice over it, and it just stops them from browning so quickly. Using frozen fruit also is a great option to prevent waste, and it can be added to things like plain yogurt and smoothies. And then choosing tin fruit is another quick option. However, if you are going to choose tin fruit, make sure it's in juice rather than syrup, just to keep added sugar levels to a minimum. So if using any leftovers or preparing foods in advance, some food hygiene tips should be followed to prevent any food poisoning. So after cooking food, cool it as quickly as possible, no more than 2 hours, and then place in the fridge or the freezer. And cooked meat should be kept away from any raw meats, and meats and rice should be reheated only once and must be piping hot before eating. The cooked rice should also be eaten within 24 hours of cooking, and make sure to stir frequently when you're reheating foods, just to make sure that it's hot all the way through. If you are intending on using any frozen vegetables and eating them cold, then you need to just check the packet instructions, as some may need to be cooked first and then cooled down. And most food that you prepare and any leftovers, they can be stored in the fridge for around 3 to 4 days. So cheese and ham are classic sandwich fillings, but they are high in salt, so we should try and vary the fillings. You can just pause the video and take a look at some of the healthy options that we've got for some inspiration, and you can also try cutting them into fun shapes just to entice smaller children into trying them. So soups are a great way to include vitamins and minerals and just help children increase their vegetable intake, but most tin soups have a high salt content. So by using some low salt stock cubes and adding herbs and spices, opting for homemade soups is often cheaper and healthier. Preparing soups in the morning or using a slow cooker makes it an easy option and ready for lunchtime. So below is just a list of some of the soup recipes in our Take and Make section on our website, which you can try if you're new to making soup, or you could let us know some of your favourite soup recipes in the comments section. Typical sweet treats in lunch boxes such as cereal bars and biscuits are high in sugar and fat, and we can't be giving our children them every day over the holidays. So here's just a wee list of some healthier options that we can include, which will lower the sugar intake and help your children reach their 5 a day. A family day out during the holidays is great, but the cost of eating out can make it a little bit less fun. By building a quick picnic before leaving the house can sort of take out the stress of having to pay for meals and snacks. The main issue though when putting together a picnic or a lunchbox is that so many pre-packed foods are highly processed or they have salt and sugar, and avoiding these pre-packed foods can be difficult. So by opting for a few foods that you've prepared yourself, it can not only save you money but also improve the nutritional value of the meal. When building the picnic, aim to turn to foods that can be put into finger foods, as this will allow you to avoid needing to bring any plates and cutlery, but maybe take some wipes or tissues. So below are just some ideas of what you can bring. So crackers and oat cakes or breadsticks, they're all good options for the carbohydrate foods, as they require no preparation, and you can serve them with either pieces of meat and cheese for a vul Jerome. Or you can have simple sandwiches which can be easily wrapped up. And then many fresh fruits already come in their own packaging, the skin, which makes them a healthy snack which is easy to transport. And then any softer fruits such as strawberries are extra sweet in the summer, but they will need to be maybe put into an old takeaway container or Tupperware box just to stop them from bruising and squashing all over your bag. You can prepare any salad, vegetable sticks, and then maybe take a dip, And then another idea is boiled eggs or falafels, fritters, pancakes for protein idea, and they can be put into a Tupperware or container box as well. And then on those colder days that we probably will get, flasks of soups are a great idea. And then don't forget to pack some water bottles, just keep everybody hydrated throughout the day. And then also consider using a reusable ice pack just to keep the food cool, or you could even freeze a carton of juice and stick that in the bag to use that as well. And then any packaging, just try not to use single-use sandwich bags, try to use containers and Tupperware, or even using the bag that the bread came in is a good idea when wrapping up your sandwiches. So I hope you've enjoyed the talk and got some handy tips for lunches over the summer holidays. You can find our take and make soups and some recipe ideas on our website. And we'd also love to hear from you too. So if you've got any good tips that you want to share with the families of Discover, then just leave some comments